I think what a lot of people's misconception is, I don't mean to sound ignorant or disrespectful, but a lot of people think when you're homeless, you're no good, you're going to steal, you're going to hit them in the head and try to rob them. I ain't saying that they aren't a few that does that, but not everybody is a bad person. I mean, you have, good people, you have good cops, bad cops, good people, bad people, But I think a lot of it thinks a homeless person is no good, they don't want to work. Yeah, granted, you have a few that really don't want to work, but you got a few that can't work and don't know what to do. And I'm originally from Westernport, Maryland. Well, I did a little bit of time in prison, and when I got out, I didn't have a place to go, so I went to the Bartlett House in Morgantown. My ex-wife put me in there. She left me for another lady, and she tried to say that I, tried to rape her and the kids and all. So I got a bum rap. I know people say that, but I took a lie detector test. I passed it, and I ended up doing time over that. And my daughter and all was approached later on when she got older, and she told them that I didn't do it, but already did the time. So.
Wow. How long were you in prison for?
21 years. 21 years. So you can imagine when I come out, everything's changed. The hardest thing was adjusting to the outside world, after being locked up that long, because it's like being institutionalized. I mean, everything before I went in was different when I got out. I know it's for the better, the technology and stuff, but I had to adapt to that. The first thing I can remember is the first time I went to Walmart, you got that feeling that somebody's watching you. Yeah, I don't know whether it's hard to describe, but like you're sitting there and you get thoughts where they thinking I'm trying to steal something or am I doing something. That was hard. Another thing was before I went in, we was used, if you went to a doctor's office before I went in, people would sit there and they'd be reading magazines. Well, when you go to the doctors nowadays, everybody's on a cell phone. That was a hard adjustment for me because I never had a cell phone. I was always brought up, treat people the way you want to be treated. In order to get respect, you got to give respect. But I think a lot of times, not everybody in society, but a lot of society people will label somebody. Well, that's a no good homeless bum. He don't want to work, always got their hand out wanting something. I ain't drank for 30 years. But you got some people that do drink that if you do give money to, they're going to buy a bottle, But you got some that might really, like when they say, hey, I want something to eat or I need lodging, might use that money for that purpose. To me, I thank God I'm alive. I know my health is pretty well shot, But I look at it this way. At least I'm alive. I take one day at a time. I believe in God, and all that. But there's always people worse off, people that's dying of cancer, AIDS. I just give God the thanks for everything I got. I thank God that, that I got a roof over my head. I thank God that I got my freedom, being able to be out and see the world instead of, like I said, when you're in, I hate to keep going back to prison, I don't mean to, but when you're in prison, you don't see nobody but the guards, or if you get a visit from home. You got a fence around you, and you're inside that building. It ain't like if I want to go out and walk in the yard and look at the trees and you see the birds flying, or, in there you ain't got that. And I thank God that I'm able now to be able to go places and see things. What I'd like to do is, just be able to continue on with my life. Hopefully, keep my movement to where I'll be able to keep being able to walk. And maybe, like this here, maybe this will help somebody else. Always think, never give up, because there's always hope, And maybe one thing that this video will do, if anything, is if people look at it to see, the opinions from a homeless person on, what it's like. The biggest thing I could say is give people a chance, and don't stereotype them because they're homeless that they're no good. Granted, you're going to have bad homeless, but you're also going to have good. Look at the good in everybody, and take it from there.
What would you do to help people with a situation like yourself, who are homeless, didn't have a place to go, and so?
Well, the only thing that if I could build a place for them to live in, that would be ideal. But what I've always said, this might sound crazy. I know you got people, that are homeless, some that'll pitch tents. Now, I've never seen it, and I don't know. I'm just going by what I've heard in town when I was at the Bartlett House. People would say that they set their tent up, and people made them move and get out of that spot, and sometimes they'd lose their stuff. What I said in town would be nice is if they had a great big area that they could put like a place for the homeless to put their tents up, and maybe have porta potties and stuff like that. With the exception, if you do drugs or drink or stuff like that, you got to leave a place to where they could put their stuff to where, that'd be legal for them to be, and not have it taken because if somebody finds it and didn't want them there. That would be nice. And of course, the biggest thing in the world, I'd like to see all this, people shooting people, cops getting shot, innocent public getting shot by the cops. I'd like to see peace. I know, I like to see world peace, to where everybody can just get along and respect each other. But that's just, I think, that stuff's dangerous. The terrorist attacks, people taking lives of innocent people. I don't believe in that. I like I said, I don't like to see waves in the ocean. I like to see the boat sailing smooth. I ain't into controversy and stuff like that. That just ain't me. I'm easygoing. Maybe one of these days we will have peace in the world. That's one thing I'd like to see.